good night, everyone. Tonight, got to school all the time. My name is J. Spears. I'm here to get the shout news on tonight. We're going to talk about the impact of low income, economic hardship. Since they had the COVID pandemic 2 years ago, um, everything still and get back on track with some people, with some of us. You know, time is still hard. Still got hardship. You have some people working two jobs, to make ends meet. And then you have the program. You have the program to Section 8 for low income. But it work for some people to have a baby and have to be at home, and take care of the baby. Long as you don't have a job, you don't pay no rent. You still have to pay light bill and everything else. But you got some other people wants to work and wants to advance in life. But the more you wants to work, you know, and the more your income is, the program is no good for you because you wind up the rent go up and you have to pay so much when might as well be on a regular have a regular apartment. So the time is so hard for a lot of people that's out here struggling, and sometimes with two jobs. You know, they had someone with two jobs and still was struggling. Making 8 hours a week. And sometimes and things are still hard. And like the more you work and the more income you have, the more everything come expensive. The rent go up. If you own the program based on your income, your rent will go up. You have to pay for child care. Then you have to pay for energy bill, water bill, Medicaid. Then you're responsible for everything on your own. So minimum wage. I know I talked about minimum wage July the 22nd of this year. I talk about the minimum wage. You know, yeah, July the 15th of this year, 11/25. Already, that's not enough. 12, I said 12/25. That's not enough. You know, um, 16, 17, the living expenses is so high these days. Minimum wage really need to go up. Now 12.25 is not enough, but it's a start. You know, it's a start because I don't think the minimum wage has changed in New Orleans. So the minimum wage should go up to 12.25 an hour. Because time is so hard and time expensive. It's expensive. You got some people working. Stop. You got some people working two jobs. You know, two jobs and it's still hard. I was one of those persons. Years ago. Working two jobs. You know, but if both of the job income is so low, you still won't be getting nowhere. You still won't be getting nowhere. Because it's like the more money you make, the more bills you have. Especially if you're on program. That's why so many people got spread away from the workforce. Because they figure, if they own a program, and they got a job and making money, everything go up for them, and then they can't really afford to pay everything on their own. So a lot of them are spread away from the workforce, to stay on a program. And they have some don't, you know, are spread away from the program and they rather advance in life and work. You know, so um, so when you're on the program and you get a job, it based everything based on your income. You know, then your rent was your rent will go up. You know, your food stamp will get cut. Your government funds will get cut. You know, you and you have to pay your own energy bill. So I don't think they pay for water. Then you have to pay for your child care because I don't think the Medicaid cover that. So these is all the expenses, and sometimes they might have they might have a fast stressful job, or two, two low income jobs, and won't be able to afford to pay all this stuff I just named. So they have so many people, will have to. A lot of people are staying with someone, to try to save, to try to make it on their own. Because if you by yourself, it's hard for you to make on your own. Especially you got small kids with all the stuff that I named. So when you're in a program and you get a job, you won't be qualified for all these things. Some of the stuff will get cut. You know, you will still get food stamp, but the food stamp will be cut some. You will not get the government funds. That will be cut. The rent will go up. So really the minimum wage have to go up. Because the living expenses is just too expensive, especially for a single woman that's out here. A single woman that's out here struggling. Struggling, still struggling with two jobs. You know, so and childcare, everything is so expensive. It's so expensive for a one person to really try to tangle it out. So the economic hardship. For women, a lot of women's leaving the workforce. Impact and Spain the child care taxes. You know, um, and the spotlight of people navigating food, housing, healthcare. Are falling through the cracks of social safety network in the process. You know, so um, I think you should look at the Obama. See if they still have the Obama Medicaid. Because low income program is only really for the ones that have kids or just had a baby. You know, and wants to stay at that level. But you got some people get on a program just temporary to get on their feet. And they want to work, they want to advance. But the more you advance, the more everything get cut back. So that was I just wanted to talk about the hardship. The hardship that so many people are having. You know, um, because sometimes you can make 13 hours an hour. And it's still, if you're not making the hours, to make the money, time will still be hard. Time will still be hard. It's really not enough. So after they take taxes out, after they now see they'll go up on your rent because of your income, but then they have to look at, taxes gonna be taken out. Then you got bills to pay, child care, and you got to add money to get your food, because they will cut back on the food stamps, once you work, so you qualify for a whole lot of free stuff, when you're not working. But once you start working and the program really supposed to be temporary. Supposed to be temporary. So once you get a job and they see you getting up on your feet, and then there'll be time for you to move to the next level. You know, and so many people get comfortable with the program, and really the program supposed to be temporary. It's supposed to be temporary. You know, uh, and it's really for the ones that have kids, just had a baby. You need a roof over your head. So I was just speaking on minimum wage, a hard time, minimum wage, cause living life, is hard by itself. You know, uh, and some people just constantly, pay bills and pay bills and don't have time for themselves, to treat themselves. You know, so just like I heard someone say, $16 sometimes don't be enough. If you're not making the hours. So when you're making the pay, you have to make the hours the meeting, to have a decent check, so minimum wage I said 12.25. That's pretty much not enough, but it's a start. It's a start. You know, even in fast food anyway, it should start at 12.25 an hour. They work hard over there. It work hard. And then the young lady that I heard speak, you know, she said she working two jobs, but it's two low income jobs. And it's like with two jobs, 80 hours a week. So if you're not making the hours with the income, and then you still not bringing home enough money, you know. So it was best, you know. So minimum wage for a start, 12.25 an hour, even in fast food, should be 12.25 an hour on up. You know, even in fast food, 12.25 an hour. So I don't know if they making it now. I know a while back when I checked the minimum wage was still 7.25 an hour. We can't get too far with that. So minimum wage should change to 12.25. A start. Because if you write a list of all your bills that you have a month, especially if you're on a program, they're looking at your income. I never was qualified for none of the stuff. Because they look at your income and say, oh, it's just too much. But they have to realize you have a long list of bills that you have to pay. And then they have to realize they take taxes out. After they take taxes out, you hardly bringing nothing home. And then child care by itself is very expensive. For the ones who have children and trying to work, you have some trying to advance, getting a job, some of them going to college, and cannot make ends meet because of the income and the expenses that they have to pay. You know, so and a lot of them wants to stay on the program. So a lot of them strayed away from the workforce, not even trying to get a job, but to stay on the program. But they got some don't want to stay on the program and wants to work in advance. So it works both ways. So they need a decent pay to survive. And they also have to make the hours to match up with the pay that they're getting. Because you have so many people with two jobs and still a low income. You know, time is just that hard, especially when pandemic had hit it 2 years ago. A lot of people they never caught up yet. Never caught up yet. So women leaving the workforce to stay on the program because when they tried to make it on their own without the program, it was so hard. So where they had to move in with someone so they can kind of save. So that's why a lot of them stay on the program, and a lot of them don't even work because the living expenses are so high. So that's all the news I have for you on today, and I see y'all on the next video.